Come on into the kitchen today. In the farm stand kitchen, we're making Irish soda bread. We're going to be making it the traditional way, which has just a few ingredients. We're going to talk about what you can add to it too, to make it a little more American, maybe what you're used to. But we're going to start out with just the basic Irish soda bread. So we're going to go over our ingredients first. So what we're going to have first is you're going to need some flour. So we're going to do 3.5 cups of an all-purpose flour. So that's what you need there. Not self-rising, but you need all-purpose flour. You're going to need some baking soda, of course. So you'll need 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. You're going to need a little table salt, just 1/2 teaspoon. And you're going to need some buttermilk, full-fat buttermilk. And we're going to start with 1.5 cups. And we may move up just a little bit more. It always depends on the protein in your flour. We might need to add a little bit more. So when we get to that point, we'll talk about that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to push these out of the way so we can bring the bowl over here. And we're going to get started. Irish soda bread. Dave's been talking Irish to me all morning this morning. It's been pretty hilarious. You know, Dave's my funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
Top of the morning, is that what we said first? And
Top of the morning to you.
oh yeah, there you go. All right. Oh, Dave, you make me laugh. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do our flour first. I'm going to just bring it on over here. We're just going to do a little baking in the farm stand kitchen today. We haven't done this for a while. We haven't baked for a while. So I'm going to do level. You want to scoop in and level it off. So there we have one. We don't want to dig into our flour because we'll get too much if we do it like that. So let's do 2. And we'll do our third one here. There's our 3. And I actually used the 1/2 cup because I don't want to get too much. I want this to be a pretty accurate measurement here. And then there's our 1/2. Okay, 3.5. Now let's go ahead and add our baking soda. So we want 3/4 of a teaspoon of this baking soda. We're going to add that in there. And then we're going to add a little table salt. And here we want just 1/2 teaspoon, some table salt. Okay, we're just going to add that in there too. And we're just going to combine these together. Get the flour out a little bit, okay? Just going to combine. Okay, now you could do this in another bowl if you want, but I'm just going to do it like this because I do it like this a lot. I just want to sift this just a little bit. This is just my fine mesh strainer, and you just want to sift it once. You just want to give it a little sift. You don't have to get crazy with it, just, you know, a little bit. We'll just go ahead and get that in there. There we go. All right, now what we're going to do to this now is we're going to just make a well in the center. Just kind of give it a mix. And then we're just going to make a little, what we call a well. We just want to put that right in the center. So we're going to put our buttermilk. Okay, so now we're going to start with 1.5 cups of buttermilk. So you'll always start with the 1.5. Then we may have to add just a little bit more, and we're going to talk about that. So there's our 1.5. Because flours are all different brands, all have a little different protein, and some of them absorb more than others. They just react a little different. So depending on what kind of flour you're using, I want to show you what this should look like. And we don't want to work with this too much. Now, I've seen a lot of you said you've never had Irish soda bread before. Now, it's kind of between a scone and a quick bread is what it is. It's very basic, but it has a great texture and a great flavor. Okay, now see, this is just you want it to be shaggy, but this is just a little bit dry. Just a tiny bit. So if you find that is the problem with yours, then just do 1 tablespoon at a time and just use it till you get to where this will hold together. But you do want it to be a little shaggy. Okay, and I can tell that is going to be good right there. Okay, now I'm just going to work this just a tiny bit right in this bowl. I'm just going to turn it a couple times just till we kind of get a ball there. Okay, now let's move to this little board here. I'm going to put just a little bit of flour. Just want to put a tiny bit on a board. And we're going to take it out. Okay, now we're just going to turn it a couple times. Just get that, and it's okay if it's a little shaggy. Just turn it in your flour so you get flour on the top and on the bottom. And then you want to pat this out about 6.5 inches and about 1.5 inches tall. So this right here is just right. That is perfect. And see how that just all came together, but it's still kind of shaggy. See where you have some shag? And that is perfectly fine. That's exactly what you want. You don't want to overwork this dough. So now we're going to put it on a baking sheet. Now I have put this in a cast iron skillet as well, but it's you can do it just like this on a baking sheet. So you just want to put a little flour on there. Then you just want to put it on there just like that. And then you want to take a knife and you just want to make a big score on here. You're just cutting down about 1/2 inch. So you want to go that way. Stay away from the edge just a little bit because you don't want it to totally split on you. And then just go that way. And that's all that you need to do. That is a good enough score. And then you want to pop that in the oven at 450 degrees. You want to preheat your oven 450. Pop it in there and do 15 minutes at 450, and then you want to drop down to 400 for another 15 minutes, and then it's going to be done for you. I have one done, so let's go ahead and slice into it. Let's move a little bit of this out of the way. I'll bring it down here. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it comes out. So you can see how it looks shaggy. It's supposed to look like that. Here's our score marks there at the top. So let's go ahead and get it off, and we're going to slice it up. Okay, so I have my little bit of Irish butter here. So we have to have that. Just go ahead and open it up. Gotta have some Irish butter on my Irish soda bread. Okay, so here it is. So let's just give it a cut. Let's just go down the middle. Now you want this to completely cool when you take it out of the oven. You want all those proteins to settle down, and you want it to be pretty cool. Now this is going to get quite a crumb on the bottom. I'm going to show you. Okay. So see there? This is what it looks like. It's a really great texture, but see your crumb on the bottom? It's a really great crumb there too. So you got a little crust here. And then there's your tender soda bread. So let's just cut a piece, and I'm going to put a little butter on it. And we're going to give it a whirl. You know, this is really good toasted. I love this bread toasted. I'm gonna have some of that in the morning, I guarantee you. Now I'm just using a bread knife here. I'm gonna use a serrated knife to cut your soda bread. Okay, so see, there you go. Like I say, it's in between a scone and a quick bread is what it is. So let's just go ahead and put a little Irish butter on. And I'm going to give it a taste. Now, I wanted to tell you guys about the raisins. Oh, that looks so good. It's just like barely warm in my hand, and it's just wonderful. But anyway, to this recipe, now it's the Americans who added the raisins. You're welcome to do that. You could add 3 ounces of raisins to the dry ingredients of this recipe. You can totally do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I like it just in its authentic recipe, and that's just the way I like it. You can add raisins if you would like. I'm going to give this a taste. It is so good. That butter is amazing. I wanted you to give it a try. St. Patty's Day is around the corner. Irish soda bread.